Welcome to the overview of interactive visualizations in Streetlight Insight. I'm Jenna from the Streetlight support team, and I'll be taking you through this training. This video will walk you through how to navigate and understand interactive visualizations in the Streetlight Insight platform. Our interactive visualizations tool is fantastic for visualizing and understanding the metrics from our platform. We provide multiple visualizations to better digest the results you receive from your analyses. Our goal is to describe the interactive visualization in general, while using an origin-destination analysis as our example. Keep in mind, different analysis types might have varying versions of the visualizations. So let's go through an example. We will be looking at Atlanta, Georgia, and we'll visualize a neighborhood-to-neighborhood origin-destination analysis. For some context, we will be looking at the same origin zone set and destination zone set, which will make visualizations in the platform look their best. I already went ahead and ran this analysis, but I wanted to let you know that this article also contains a link on how to set up an origin-destination analysis in Streetlight Insight. Now that we're all on the same page, let's hop into Streetlight Insight and visualize our metrics. First, I'll make sure I'm on the analyses page, and that the analysis I just ran is marked as available with a green check mark. This indicates that the analysis is ready for download and review. I'll go ahead and search Atlanta. Since our Atlanta Neighborhoods OD is available, let's review the results in the Interactive Visualizations tool. To do so, I'll move over to the Action button in the middle of this analysis table. Then I will click Visualize Analysis. This button will take us directly to the visualization of Atlanta Neighborhoods OD. Keep in mind that it may take a few seconds for the metrics to load. Before viewing the results, let's orient ourselves in the visualizations tool a little bit. First, on the left side, you will see filters. I will go into detail on these filters shortly, but generally these filters allow users to specify what information to see in the visualizations. It's important to note that when you adjust filters, they will also show up on the top bar of the visualization. You can adjust filters in both locations on the visualizations tool. Second, there are multiple sheets in the visualizations. I will go through the sheets a little later on, but keep in mind you can switch between sheets by using the arrows on the top right of the visualization screen, or by clicking on the drop-down menu just to the left of those arrows. Third, at the top of the visualization, you'll see you have the option to change which analysis to visualize. You will also see next to it information on which analysis you are viewing, what type of analysis it is, and whether or not you use any of the add-on options during the Create Analysis Options page. Now that we've oriented ourselves, let's dig into the visualization. First, I'm going to add some filters, and if you don't remember anything else from this video, remember this: filter first. This is a golden rule with the visualizations. Filtering makes understanding and interpreting the results much simpler. Before we add any filters, let's go over the filters on the left side in general. There are filters for many of the analysis options, which lets you view different slices of the results. Keep in mind that this is an OD analysis and that other analysis types may have different filter options. First, you'll see you'll have options to choose the type of day or the time of day. Next, you can decide whether the zones are origins or destinations, meaning that we are viewing these neighborhoods as origins to destinations or vice versa. Once I decide the zone type, I can select any specific origins or destinations to visualize. Selecting a specific origin or destination zone can be beneficial when trying to understand the top OD pairs for a specific location and can help specify the visualizations even further. Finally, I can decide if I want to include or exclude when the origin is the same as the destination, and what information to display in the bar chart. For this example, we can see vehicle volume, trip and/or traveler attributes as options for the bar chart on the right side. If you don't run the analysis with trip or traveler attributes, you will only be able to visualize OD traffic. Finally, I can choose to visualize the analysis as streetlight volume values or percentage trip distribution. The chart will go from largest to smallest OD volume on the right side, and viewing your results as a percentage or values is a personal decision and depends on how you best digest information. Now, time to dive into the data. Let's say I want to look at weekdays at the peak AM time period. I'll leave zone type origin so that I'm looking at all of these neighborhoods as origin zones, and in the filter below, I could use the dropdown to specify which origin zone I'm interested in analyzing, but for now, I want to look at all the neighborhoods. So on the heat map to the right, we now see the top destinations. All of our destination zones will appear with a color scale representing the volume of traffic ending in the neighborhood zones. You can see on the map that the Castleberry Hill downtown zone is highlighted in red. This indicates the most trips driving from Atlanta neighborhoods end in that zone. When I hover over the zone, we see that the streetlight volume value associated with this OD pair is 24,599 vehicles on an average weekday morning go from a neighborhood to that destination. If I look at the OD volume chart on the right, we see that Castleberry Hill downtown has the highest vehicle volume, followed by Midtown. I can click and drag down the chart with the mouse to highlight the top 5 OD pairs. Then click the green check mark on the top right and watch as the map adjusts. To clear the filter, I can click this X button on the bar at the top right of the screen. Now say I want to look at weekend trips at the same time. I'll readjust the filter on the left of the screen to weekend. Note that the results change with fewer trips in downtown and a higher percentage of trips in the West End and Midtown, popular residential and commercial neighborhoods. Now I will update our filters again and see how the results change when I look at Midtown as a specific origin zone. I'll search for Midtown and click on Midtown to apply the filter. I can see on the heat map that the Midtown has a thick black outline. This shows that it's the origin zone of interest. I can now see on the heat map that the top destinations for Midtown are the neighborhoods right around Midtown, with the highest volume still being downtown with a volume of 885. I'll also go ahead and exclude when origin equals destination, so we don't see those values. Keep in mind that there are more sheets to explore and that these sheets will vary by analysis type. Now I will click on the top right arrow to go through the other sheets. The next sheet, if you choose these options during the analysis creation, contains the trip and traveler attributes. Note that the filter selection remains throughout the sheets. In this analysis, though, we can see the most travelers who originate in Midtown do not have kids, if we look at traffic by family status. And if I switch my filter on the left side to do trip attributes, we can see that most trips originating in Midtown travel 1 to 5 miles under traffic by trip length and take about 10 to 30 minutes if we look at traffic by duration. You can also move these around to see the results in a different formation. Now let's go back to the arrow on the top right of the screen and go to the next sheet. This sheet includes our advanced visualization options, including a chord diagram and a heat matrix. These advanced visualizations show the same information as that first bar chart, but in a different format. If I go to the chord diagram, I can see that from Midtown, the most popular destination is Castleberry Hill, since it has the widest chord. I can also visualize the same information in the heat matrix below the map, with the darkest color indicating the highest volume of trips, still Castleberry Hill. Clicking the arrow on the top right, I can go to the OD matrix sheet. This sheet creates an OD matrix from the analysis data. I'll go ahead and expand our matrix by clicking the dividing line and dragging it to the left. I will also remove the origin zone filter so you can see the full OD matrix. I'll do this by clicking on the filter on the top bar. If I only want to look at the top destinations, I can click on Destination Zone and choose Castleberry Hill, Midtown, and West End. I can then scroll through and clearly see the top origin zones for those 3 destinations. The visualization uses a color scale again to indicate trip volume. Green represents lowest volume OD pairs, and red is the highest volume OD pairs. Finally, clicking on the top right arrow one more time, we'll get to the analysis details sheet. On the left are the analysis details, And on the right, this information contains the two sample size values. One is approximate device count. This is the amount of unique devices used in your study during your data period. And the second one is the approximate trip count, which is the total trips used in the study. The trip sample size will typically be larger because one device can have multiple trips within the selected data period. So now that we've looked through all the sheets, I want to show you a few more features in the interactive visualization tool. Think of this as our tips and tricks section. A reminder, you can always jump sheets by clicking the drop-down menu next to those right side arrows I've been using throughout this training. Here you can see all the sheets and can quickly go back to the other sheets like the basic project metrics. One tip is you can always click the expand button on the top right of the sheet to make the visualization full screen. You can also click compress to return to the regular visualization. Next, if you have download capabilities, you can download aspects of the visualization. If I right-click on an item in the visualization, for example, the chart on the right side, I can then click on the three dots at the top of the circle, click Export, and I will be able to export a visualization as an image, a PDF, or actually export the underlying data as a CSV. The last trip I want to walk you through is how to exclude zones from the visualization. This is helpful for understanding trip distribution without your top zones. For example, what if I wanted to look at the trip distribution of Atlanta neighborhoods excluding the top 3 destination zones? Since I still have these zones selected, I'll go to the top row of filters and click on the destination zone filter. Then I'll click on the 3 dots to the left of the red X. I can choose Select Excluded, and this eliminates the top 3 destination zones for the visualizations and redistributes the heat map, as you can see on the screen. So that concludes all of our tips and tricks, and thus concludes our video on the interactive visualization. Thanks for watching, and feel free to contact support if you have any follow-up questions. Thank you!